Stage 1 of the Budapest Major is officially a bloodbath. FaZe Clan is on life support, and that is not just a Kerrigan age reference either. The pick'ems are already dead, so if you still are eligible to get a diamond coin, send me the lottery numbers while you're at it. And while everyone is panicking about the underdogs, the real monsters haven't even touched the server yet. We are looking ahead to the Elimination Stage. We've ignored the HLTV rankings. We've ignored the fanboys, and we've created the only top 5 list that actually matters for this major. The #1 team on this list is gonna make you angry, but soon you'll realize we were right. Welcome to Budapest. I'm here with Davis, our CS expert, as seen on Into the Smoke, Today in esports, and everything else we decided to throw him into. But stage 1 is crazy, Davis. Has this changed anything about your rankings and how you're looking at this major?
I don't know. I'm not ready to say that fully yet, because I think as we get deeper into the tournament, we're going to see kind of the separation of our top dog teams. And I think right now at the top, this is the most competitive we've seen Counter-Strike in a while. And I think there's like 4 to 5 teams that have really kind of edged out the rest of the field. So I think they're going to be kind of solidified. But I could easily be wrong. I have like no pick'ems right so far. Actually, I have one. Rare Atom so far is the only one that I have from stage 1. So
yeah, same.
It looks like I'm going to end up with a bronze coin. So you don't have to listen to me, but that's my opinion.
0-1. The best of ones are brutal. There's no question about it. So hopefully, obviously, you get some of those in the first stages of Swiss. But man, it's been crazy so far.
It's been insane.
But hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the list. At number 5, Team Spirit with a score of 85. They have, without a doubt, the greatest player in the world right now in Dunk. This team, everyone expected to be number 2, yet they barely cracked our list. This new roster just hasn't found their groove. Do they actually have a chance at this major?
I'm not 100% sure, because I think this team is definitely a team that if they get hot, they have tremendous players that can really rise to the occasion, and they could make a deep run. But I just don't really see it right now. Like you said, this team with the new roster, they just haven't really found their groove yet. And I think a lot of pressure, especially for this major, will come with Zwei and Tanir, it being their first major on an actual contender team. I think that brings a lot of pressure. You know, they're going to be playing look, they'll probably make the bracket stage, so you're going to be playing in matches that you're playing against a really good team, and it's got a lot of pressure, and they've never really been in that situation. They did attend the last major on both Heroic and Amiga in Austin, so they have a little bit of major experience under their belt, but not against the contenders and not in the deepest points of the tournament. So I'm a little bit nervous, and they obviously have Donk. He's the best player in the game, there's no question. And we've seen him solo carry games. So I think they have the potential, but it's a matter of, will these players that don't have as much experience, will they be able to rise to the occasion and play their best?
Yeah, you could make the argument that Donk carried them to the first CS2 major ever. So he's definitely capable, but I think people have caught on, and you send 2, maybe even 3 Donk's way, and that slows him down a little bit. So that might just be what slows this team down at the end of the day. I also think Tanir and Zwei, the team has been on the uptick, but yeah, the stage is just going to be unfortunately too big for them. I could see them getting top 8, top 6, but not anything better than that at this one, unfortunately. So
yeah,
we're going to have to see where they go. But back into the list at number 4, MVM, just edging out Spirit with a score of 86. Clean, technical, consistent, but they have so many second place finishes. The question remains, Davis, what is their actual ceiling?
Well, I think MVM has an opportunity to do something really special, especially for Torzy, with it being his hometown major. We've seen MVM and Torzy, especially in my opinion, in the biggest moments so far of the year for them, when they're playing in grand finals and they're playing against like Vitality, when they were on their really big run. He kind of struggled to play his best in those big moments. And it's really interesting, or it's going to be really interesting to see how he reacts to this being his hometown major. He said that he's going to have a lot of family, a lot of friends there. And I mean, what better story could you wish for than to be playing in the biggest Counter-Strike tournament of the year in your hometown with the opportunity to be on a team that could win it? I think this team has the potential, just as much as anybody, to win this event if they play up to that potential. They have Zershin and also Sphinx, who are tremendous riflers, and they can honestly play as good as anybody, but they never play good together. So if this team can figure out a way to get those 2 popping off, and Torzy playing really well with the motivation from being in his hometown, I think they could be a sleeping giant, and they could go deep in this tournament.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It's just they haven't been able to get over that hump the entire year. They've made grand finals after grand finals, and they haven't won. But however, on the other side of the coin, I don't think they've placed outside of the top 6 this entire year either. So is this the one where they finally get over the hump, or are Torzy's family and friends just too much of a distraction. We'll have to wait and see. And I think that's why they fell down our list a little bit too, is just because they have some great names, and that's why they are in the top 5, but just not enough talent to get them over the finish line, in my opinion. So we'll have to wait and see. But back into the list, and at number 3, breaking into the 90s, the Bees, Team Vitality with a score of 90. I know you're already upset. Zywoo in Budapest. This is the team to beat in the first half of the year, rattling off 7 straight wins and taking the first major of 2025. So what happened? How'd we get here? And why are they number 3, Davis?
Well, I want to say first, I think the competition right now, especially at the top of CS, is just super tight. And I think this is a team that they absolutely have what it takes to win this major. They easily could do it. But I think the reason that they've really dropped off isn't necessarily what's happened to them. It's what haven't they done as a team. When you win 7 straight events and you win the major, you get super comfortable. You're on top of the game. And these other teams like Furia, Falcons, even MOUZ, Spirit, they're all working to try to beat you. They're putting all their hours into making sure that they can beat you. And so if you're getting a little bit complacent, they catch you, they pass you. And I think that's what we've seen at the end of the year. The team Vitality is no question still a giant, and they have what it takes to beat anybody. But I think that you've just seen kind of the fruits of other teams' labor. They've put the hard work in, and they're the first major. Vitality was a giant. Nobody could contest them. But now that teams have they've beat them, they've taken maps off them, they see that they're not untouchable anymore. It's given them a lot of confidence, and they're able to really push it over the limit in the times that it matters.
So with that being said, then I have to ask you another quick question. Do you think that they have gotten worse, or they've stayed consistently the same and everybody else just surpassed them?
I would say they've maybe dropped off a little bit in performance, but it's super hard to tell because, I mean, they're still a tremendous team. They haven't came out of the top 4 in any event that they've played, so it's not like they've fallen off. So that leads me to think that other teams maybe have just gotten better. I think if their performance as a team really dropped and like their confidence really took a hit, they would have had a moment where they've really just fallen off and had like a terrible event. But that hasn't really happened. They've been in close series pretty much every event that we've seen them get bounced out of. So I think that they're still a tremendous team. Other teams have just gotten a little bit better, and they're more prepared coming into these events.
Yeah, no, we'll have to see. Now, again, it wouldn't surprise either of us if they won this thing, and they won it quite dominantly. However, we do have to get back into our list and look at the number 2 team here. And people are going to think Davis made this entire list himself, and people are going to hate this pick. The villains of Counter-Strike, Team Falcons, with a score of 91, with a roster with so much firepower, they can never seem to finish. Even with Nico chasing his first major, does Team Falcons finally have what it takes to take one home?
Well, I think this comes to no surprise to anybody watching this. If you watch some of our other Counter-Strike teams, I think personally Falcons has the most firepower out of any team that's competing in Counter-Strike right now.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of if they can play to that potential. And I think that everything in-game they actually do very well, especially if you look like back at Hong Kong. In my opinion, Kixon has been kind of one of their weak links throughout this new roster that's been playing. But in Hong Kong, Kixon was playing out of his mind in a couple of series. So if he can really do that, they have a great anchor in TSS. There's no question to their rifling abilities with Kayusuke and also Nico. They have m0NESY, great AWPer. This team is great kind of all around the board. I think their problems kind of land outside of the server. They're mental. I think this team is one that when things start to go bad, they kind of lose the trust in each other. They lose the trust in their calls. They don't really work together as a team like they do in the moments when they're playing really well. And I think that's one thing that at the major, with it being such an emotional tournament, there's a ton of people, there's a lot of pressure. That's one thing that I think could really hurt this team. If they get into a point where they're not trusting each other's calls, they're not playing well together, I think they'll fall off. But if they can figure it out, get in a good mental space, they can trust each other, I think that they have the potential to blow this out of the water.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I think they have the talent, and I don't think that's ever been the question with this roster. However, we always know, especially with Team Falcons, it's the undue pressure from the name and wearing the jersey and everything that goes on with it. So I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions real quick. Something we didn't prepare for here. Falcons, Vitality, IGL, who's better?
I think Apex definitely wins the IGL battle there. I think that Kixon can sometimes maybe even outperform Apex and like his actual fragging ability, but I think that just Apex has been doing this for so long. He's been in the biggest moments on the biggest stage so much, and I think that just outweighs what Kixon can offer. And I also think that like if you have a player like Nico, for example, who's been playing alongside Apex for so long, he really, really respects that, and he recognizes like what Apex has accomplished. And he'll listen. He has that respect to be like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And I think that's one thing that kind of costs his trustworthiness, I guess, of Kixon whenever, Kixon's been a great player and he's played for some good teams. He was great on Heroic, but it's like he's never really won that major. He's never really showed like I'm the best IGL in the game. Yeah. And Nico, I mean, he's a player that's been around for a while. He's been one of the best Counter-Strike players of all time. So it's kind of hard for him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to you. Like what do you have on your resume that like makes me believe in you?
Yeah, so we'll go into our next questions then. So we'll hopefully a little bit quicker then. Yeah. Anchor.
I like Tesses. I think he's actually
really over Robs.
I think he's not over Robs actually. Now that I think, because I forgot we were talking about Vitality.
Yeah, Vitality Falcons.
Robs is definitely.
All right, so we've given the first two. So I think I know where this is gonna line then. I guess star rifler then.
Nico definitely.
Has to go. Opper.
I would give it to Modesty personally. I think Zywoo's more of a hybrid player, but I think Monasty's a straight opper to opper. I think Monasty's better.
So just to be clear for everybody out there, it's in terms of roles for these teams. He's got 2 for Vitality, 2 for Falcons. Yet we're given the slight edge to Falcons at the end of the day, just for complete team picture. Yeah, sounds good. But hey, we're gonna get right back into the list. And at number 1, we have the Brazilian Storm. Furia with a score of 92. This is the boldest call we've ever made, but the recent form of Fallen, Quesarado looking like the best player in the world right now, and Maladoy playing like Rookie of the Year. They've won 4 tournaments. They are on fire. Can Furia keep the flame burning? What is their recipe for success?
I think they can keep the flame burning. And one thing I want to talk about is how I think Fallen's just kind of nurtured this team in the perfect way. We actually talked about it a few weeks ago in Into the Smoke, how they just keep taking steps up. They finally made their first major in a while in Austin. They didn't play great. They made it to the bracket stage. They lost to Pain. But since then, they've just kept getting better slowly and slowly. And I think that has been from the confidence that Fallen has really poured into this team. He's made them believe in themselves. And honestly, I can't remember the last time where Maladoy wasn't the best player in the server in really any series that he's played. He's been playing out of his mind. He's the best opper in the world right now, in my opinion. Like you said, Quesarado, he's been tremendous as well. And I think their confidence is just kind of overflowing. And it's all really because of Fallen and what he can bring to the team and how he can calm everything down. And that's what I think the recipe for success is for this team. They've won 4 out of their last 5 events. They've shown that they can do it against the best of the best. But now it's the major. You have all the people in the world are watching. It's the biggest moment. You're going to be playing on stage against hundreds of thousands of people. What do you do when the pressure's on you the most? And I think when you have Fallen as your leader, that gives you a lot of confidence. So I think that it could be their time, but it just depends on how they react in the big moment.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing for this team is, like you said, they were going through a recent, like a little brief interview at the start of this stage, and they were like, who's the best opper of all time? A few people still said Fallen, and he's had to give that up to Maladoy, who's actually doing amazing with it. But I guess those are my 2 faults to, this is where Power Rankings has an extreme recency bias for us. It's Fury and Fallen and that entire squad are coming off of 4 good wins, but at the same point in time, it's can they do it on the biggest stage ever? I'm not so sure. And the other question mark for me is when Maladoy does not have that op in his hand, can he still perform with the best?
Another thing I wanted to talk about, I just looked down and I remembered I wrote this. One thing that I think separates them is their map pool. I think they love to play Overpass. They love to play Train.
Yeah.
Your other maps, Inferno, Dust, Mirage, everybody's been playing those for years upon years upon years. These maps, Overpass and Train, they just got implemented into the rotation this year. I think that the fact that they're so comfortable on those maps really gives them an edge over a lot of the competition.
I couldn't agree more. That's a very good point. But hey, we have to mention the Mongols. They've just been tearing it up, but just missed the cut for the top 5. With Senzu stepping away and controllers stepping into the lineup, they just haven't been the same, Davis. But if it wasn't for their miraculous run at the last major, would we even still be talking about them right now?
It's kind of hard to say because I think Mongols have been a tremendous team throughout the year. They came second place, I think, 3 times. They won EWC, so it's not like they haven't been irrelevant through the year. I mean, heck, they have more wins than Mouse has. So I think that we have, valid points to talk about them. But the most important thing for this power rankings is, like you said a little bit ago, it's recency bias going into this major. And with the late change that they made with Senzu stepping away and bringing controls in, I just don't think this team really has a chance to really arrive in the moment like they did in Austin. In Austin, they were kind of building, kind of like we talked about Furia. They're building, they're getting confidence, they're ready for this big moment. Now it's like they really only played one tournament since adding this new guy to their team. And they're going to be playing against teams like Furia, Vitality, Falcons, who throughout the entire year have been getting better and better and better. When you throw a wrench in your squad and you're going to be playing against the best of the best, it's really hard to just beat them. I just don't see it happening. I think Mongols has been a tremendous team, but I don't really see them doing much in this event, and that's why we have them at the top.
I'm gonna hit you with, because we still have love for the Mongols and hope that they do well, but I'm gonna hit you with a real quick question then. So out of the top 5 then, who would you give the 6th spot to if it's not the Mongols?
If it's not the Mongols, I personally would give it to G2. I think G2 has a lot of potential. I think Hunter's been tremendous since he stepped in as their IGO, and I think when playing well, Matisse and Sunpius especially, they can be as good as anyone. I think Heavy God, he's really they haven't played that much actually in the last few weeks. No, like if you like through August, September, like those 2 months, they were actually playing really, really good. They won that event in London. Yeah. So I think that they have the potential to be really, really good. And I think it'll be interesting to see like where they're at in the major. Like you said, they haven't played very much recently, so they could have been formula crafting. They could have been making kind of crazy strats. You never know what's going to happen when they show up on stage. But in my opinion, I would give it to G2.
Completely agree. But hey, that's going to be it. We got to get back to watching stage 1. There it is, Furia at number 1, Spirit sliding all the way down to number 5. I know you're already typing an angry comment. Go ahead. But when Furia lifts that trophy in Budapest, remember where you heard it here first. We'll see you on the server.